Hi, my name is Will Hurd.
Great.
Okay, I don't care which one. Hi, my name is Will Hurd.
I'm Aaron Coffey.
And I'm Garrett Smith.
And we spent the last couple of months trying to determine if constructing bleachers on either side of the super pipe during the X Games would be feasible for the X Games, ESPN, and the city of Aspen itself.
For the remainder of this presentation, Will is going to take you through the executive summary and further introduce our project. Aaron is going to explain our market analysis and the project description. And finally, we will discuss our economic and fiscal impacts of this project. And further, to conclude, we will give you a brief overview of our financial statements to show you how this project is feasible and how we'll earn a profit.
As we mentioned earlier, our plan is to add 2 bleachers to either side of the super pipe event for the Winter X Games in Aspen, Colorado. These bleachers will provide a spectating area for 5,000 action sports fans to witness the premier spectacle of the Winter X Games, that is the super pipe competition, from a thrilling 35-foot high vantage point. The structure will complement the current viewing opportunities for fans by providing them an option outside of either freestanding room only, general admission, or pricey VIP tickets. The set of bleachers would be the first of its kind, and the Winter X Games provides ESPN the platform to showcase their innovation in the world of extreme sports. Furthermore, the instant buzz that will result from the unveiling of this edition will create a high demand for sponsorship opportunities for ESPN and the X Games to take full advantage of. An analysis of our financial statements leads to the conclusion that our project should undoubtedly be accepted because of our annual increases in cash flows and net present value well above zero. Our main source of revenue will be the ticket sales from the newly added bleachers, calculated to be about $375,000 annually, as you can see through our revenue sources. A pending deal with ESPN allows us to receive 4.2% of the merchandise and food and beverage sales as well. The purchase and construction of the bleachers will be financed privately, so this project will not increase any local taxes that would result from public funding and will have no detrimental effects on the local community of Aspen. The success of this project could ultimately lead to an extension in X Games contract with Aspen to host the Winter Games in their city past 2019 as well. Further, it would also provide opportunities to implement other stages such as the Dew Tour and, the biggest of all, the Olympics. This project will be embraced by all parties as it strives to capture the essence of the high-octane culture that permeates the extreme sports fan base. Although small in scale, it is exceptionally efficient as it maximizes our revenue, as well as ESPN's, by capitalizing on the most popular event at the Winter X Games, the Super Pipe competition. Aspen, Colorado is a secluded city located in Rocky Mountain Valley, west of Denver. Much like many of the towns and cities around it, Aspen is almost exclusively known for the premier winter sport terrain it offers. The Aspen Skiing Company operates the 4-mountain ski resort Aspen Snowmass, which is the main draw for winter sports enthusiasts to the city. As the site of the Winter X Games since 2002, Aspen has gained a lot of publicity over the years and is one of the top destinations for winter vacations. Buttermilk Mountain in particular, one of the 4 operated by the Aspen Skiing Company, is the specific location of the X Games competitions. Although the main attractions for the X Games are the skiing and snowboarding competitions, there are numerous other events and competitions in addition that increase draw to the city for the games. The X Games also hosts snowmobile competitions during its time in Aspen, and a wide variety of musical performances highlight fan activities throughout the games. Aspen residents and fans that have traveled to the city for the X Games are able to attend and view any event free of charge. However, they do not have access to any seating or stands. The nature of the sport requires fans to view from the base of the mountain, only allowing them close-up views of the athletes after they have finished their run. The X Games does have a premium pass, which is available to purchase for single days or the duration of the competition. These passes include access to a luxury and hospitable area where they are provided food and drinks. This is located at the base of the mountain, as well as a number of other VIP benefits. Here lies an opportunity for an added stream of revenue. The nature of the competitions make it very hard to provide fans with spectating areas that provide comfort, like an actual seat, and or decent sight lines to the action while it is happening. This is true for all events except for the Super Pipe. With a raised deck that already supports standing photographers and videographers, the Super Pipe is the only feature that provides an opportunity to introduce a spectating area much better than free general admission standing at the base, or the premium pass. Constructing seating areas raised above the deck of the Super Pipe would provide fans with unprecedented sightlines, changing the game for the spectatorship at the X Games. This picture represents our idea on a smaller scale.
To begin analyzing the market, I will first provide details about the host city of the Winter X Games for the next 4 years, Aspen. Although Aspen, Colorado has a relatively small population of exactly 6,658, it draws hundreds of thousands of fans and tourists every year to attend the Winter X Games. For instance, in 2015, the city swelled to about 115,000 people, over 16 times its normal population. In addition, the Winter X Games was watched in over 260 million homes in more than 200 different countries. Due to Aspen's small population, the main target market consists of the fans that vacation to Aspen for Winter X, as they make up a vast majority of the spectators at the games. These are also fans that are already paying money to travel to Aspen to partake in these festivities and will be the most likely to spend their extra discretionary funds on these seats. According to Extreme Sports Network, the target audience for the X Games is made up of males from ages 18 to 34 with an average household income of approximately $58,000. This audience is made up of people who believe participating in a Winter X Games sport is a lifestyle and express themselves through the extreme sports they play. X Games fans are consumers that actually participate in the extreme sports that they are fans of and are attracted to popular energy drinks and outdoor sporting apparel such as Red Bull, Monster, and Oakley. This age group has such a unique passion for extreme winter sports that they will pay the extra money to watch the Super Pipe from this unprecedented view. To finish our analysis on the market, I'll describe the venue that currently holds the Winter X Games. The Winter X Games takes place at Buttermilk Ski Hill in Aspen, Colorado. The X Games events are set up by ESPN, their premier partner. There are 4 major courses set up on the mountain for the games. These are, from left to right, the snowcross and freestyle course, the slopestyle course, the super pipe, and the big air jump, all in steam and figure 2. None of these events currently have spectating capabilities aside from any standing room provided at the base of the mountain. The base of the mountain also serves as a festival area for the games where fans can find various areas of sponsorship activation, concerts, and concessions and merchandise sales. The dimensions of a professional halfpipe are approximately 400 feet long by 55 feet wide by 10 feet tall. The bleachers being purchased for use during the event will provide 15 rows of seating along 300 feet of each side of the halfpipe. The height of the bleachers will range from 25 to 35 feet from the front to back row. Bleachers of this nature generally provide each spectator with 18 inches of space shoulder to shoulder, providing the unique viewing experience to 5,000 spectators in total, with 2,500 on each side. BK Rentals is a rental company that owns bleacher structures, stages, floors, and other assets of the lake. The firm would charge $250,000 for the rental, setup, and takedown of a bleacher structure fitting the dimensions listed above. Dan Clayton is a Kentucky-based company that specializes in the construction of permanent bleachers and spectating structures. They would charge a total price of $500,000 to construct a permanent set of bleachers that are of our required dimensions. The route that we are taking on this project is a hybrid of the 2 scenarios listed above. A permanent bleacher structure is not ideal in this situation, as they will only be needed for one event that takes place for 1 week out of a long, busy winter season at Buttermilk. The landscape of a ski resort changes drastically throughout the winter and provides that this option is not feasible. The rental option is not ideal either, as it incurs a huge annual expense without providing us the benefit of a depreciable asset. Our project will require the purchase of a temporary bleacher structure that will be assembled, staffed, disassembled, and stored annually. This plan gives us the temporary nature of the structure required for our scenario, while providing us with a tangible asset that we operate on our own.
So after consulting with Dan Clayton and BK Rentals, we found that 66% of the quoted price of $500,000 for the structure and installation covers the actual materials, while the other 34% of the price covers the hauling, labor, and other installation-related expenses. Based on these percentages, we priced the temporary stop bleachers that will be purchased at $330,000. Since these bleachers are temporary and not permanent, we will incur annual expenses from the setup and breakdown of the bleachers, such as on-site trailer office rental, salaries for both event staff and laborers, storage of the materials in the off-season, and any maintenance of the bleachers, and finally, the cost of renting the equipment necessary to install our project. This will be financed by a 10-year loan of $350,000 that will earn annual interest at 5.5% from Wells Fargo. And this project does not require the use of any equity financing and will be solely used through debt from our loan. The ticket sales from the bleachers will be our primary source of revenue, and the additional 5,000 fans that we will provide boost 3 other current revenue streams. We expect an increase in demand to sit in our bleachers because they will be the only tickets available to purchase at the Winter X Games other than the luxury suite area within the control tower at the base of the super pipe that is the only accessible with purchase of a premium pass. And these premium passes range in prices from $299 to $799, and it includes a multiple of other VIP amenities. Although the proposed additional seating will provide the best sight lines available to watch any event at the Winter X Games, they do not provide the luxury and additional VIP amenities the premium passes do. Because of this, they will be priced from $50 to $100, and we base it on the average of $75 per ticket, and will provide a possible $375,000 in ticket revenue per year. The X Games will have the ability to sell the naming rights to one of their sponsors and provide them with an additional activation zone. This structure can bring an additional $20,000 a year in sponsorship revenue. And finally, each additional spectator also provides an increase in merchandise and food and beverage sale, approximated at $20 and $10 per person. The additional 5,000 fans that we are bringing to the festival increases the overall attendance by about 4.2%, and based on this metric, we propose that 95.8% of the revenue gained from the sale of additional merchandise and food and beverage will be kept by ESPN, leaving us at around 4.2% share of that revenue. The addition of bleachers for the Super Pipe can have an extensive economic impact and physical impact for the city of Aspen, as well as other parts of the world. First, the additional bleachers will increase the number of attendees for the Super Pipe event, as well as increase the number of ticket sales for the Winter X Games. Also, we feel that the demand for the tickets along the side of the Super Pipe will likely increase because it offers an unprecedented way to watch snowboarders and skiers reach record-setting highs in the air while competing in the Super Pipe. Additional ticket sales produce a new revenue stream and could be a steady revenue source through the end of 2019. Also, another way this project can increase revenue is renting out the bleacher seats during the off-season or to other resorts nearby who hold similar snowboarding and skiing competitions throughout the winter months. Lastly, the Winter X Games could also use this new seating model for the other popular events, such as the Big Air competition. This new way to watch the Super Pipe could potentially have a huge economic impact on the Winter Olympics as well. The Olympics is constantly adding more winter sports events, recognizing the popularity with viewers. If successfully implemented at the Winter X Games, the Olympic Committee could mimic this idea and provide citizens from countries all over the world a new way to cheer on their fellow countrymen in the upcoming Winter Olympics. The X Games are what made snowboarding a famous sport, and is also the reason why the Super Pipe event became so popular to even make it at the Olympics. If it wasn't for the Super Pipe event at the X Games, we wouldn't have witnessed Shaun White set numerous records and to make history in multiple Olympics. This project could ultimately change the way people watch the Winter X Games, in particular the Super Pipe, and could increase the number of people attending the prestigious event for the years to come. The additional 5,000 fans that we are bringing to the festival increases the overall attendance by about 4.2%. Based on this metric, we propose that 95.8% of the revenue gained from sale of additional merchandise and food and beverage sales will be kept by ESPN, leaving us our 4.2% share of those profits. This is because although the additional attendance of 5,000 people will increase these sales, it would only be by a small percentage. They will also keep all revenue produced from sponsorship activation they utilize through the utilization of the bleachers, while we will retain all revenue from ticket sales.
Now we will overview our financial statements for the project, starting with the income statement. Our financial statements range from 2016 to 2019 because that is the duration of the current contract between the X Games and the city of Aspen. To begin, our revenues are listed as ticket sales, which we keep all of, and is listed at $375,000 annually. Our merchandise is listed at $4,200 annually, and that is calculated from 4.2% of the projected $10,000 in increased sales. Food and beverage is at $2,100, also calculated at the 4.2%. And then we have sponsorship revenues, which are the $20,000 projected increase in sponsorship sales. Our total revenues for this project are sustained through the 4 years at $401,300. Our expenses are also pretty consistent throughout the 4 years, starting with office trailer rental, which we looked up to be $347 for the month of January. We also have 2 different part-time salaries, one for securities and ushers, which is $10,387 annually, and laborers, which is about $16,000 annually. We have other expenses, including storage for the rental equipment and storage for the bleachers, which is calculated at approximately $5,088 annually. The equipment and machinery rental itself at $29,400 annually, and a maintenance expense of $5,000 annually, and finally depreciation of $23,333 annually. Our depreciation can be seen also at our depreciation schedule. These expenses total to approximately $89,555.83. Then we deduct our interest expense through our loan, which can be seen in a loan amortization schedule, and that is in 2016, $19,250, $17,754.90 in 2017, $16,177.56 in 2018, and finally $14,513.47 at 2019. After subtracting those out, we have total expenses of $108,805.83 in 2016. After deducting our 28% income tax expense, we are left with a net income of $210,000, or $210,595.80 after 2016. Net income in the next 3 years is at $211,672.28 for 2017, $212,807.96 in 2018, and finally $214,006.10 in 2019. And these net incomes roll over into our retained earnings because we do not have to pay any dividends or anything else. We can just put it right back into our company, and that will be shown in the balance sheet, which I will now go over. As you can see, our cash increases from annually up until 2019, which is the conclusion of the forecasting of this project. And that increase is pretty dramatic from year to year because, as I said, we are rolling over all of our revenues or all of our net income into our own company. And we have our accounts receivable. It stays a steady 5% of our revenues throughout the 4 years at $20,065. That results into a total current assets of $212,185 after 2016. And that number increases steadily with the increases in cash up until the conclusion of 2019, where it is $829,579.98. Our fixed asset and our bleachers is our only fixed asset, and that is the $350,000 that we calculated, and that is depreciated at a rate of $23,333, as I mentioned before, and that depreciation accumulates up until, and that accumulation increases up until 2019, where it is $93,333. Our total assets reduce by the $23,000 of depreciation annually, starting with $538,852 in 2016 and ending in $1,086,246 in the conclusion of 2019. Our liabilities, we have 2 current liabilities in accounts payable and current installments of long-term debt. Our accounts payable is 5% of our expenses, similar to our accounts receivable, which is 5% of our revenues. And that slightly decreases each year as our interest expense also decreases each year. Our current installment of long-term debt, which is our principal payment in our loan, which can be seen in our loan amortization schedule, increases each year by approximately $2,000 or $3,000, as our payment increases each year about $2,000 or $3,000. This leaves our total current liabilities in 2016 at $34,119, concluding in 2019 at $38,879. Our long-term debt, which is only our loan, that is our only thing in our long-term debt category, or in our long-term liabilities category, and that decreases by approximately $100,000 over the course of the 4 years, starting at $294,137, ending at $198,285 in 2019. Our owner's equity, as I mentioned before, is our retained earnings that we keep all of our net income from our income statement and turn it right back into our business. And that results in a total liabilities and owner's equity that is concurrent with our total assets throughout 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. For our statement of cash flows, we have an operating section that stays pretty steady throughout 2017 through 2019. We have an increase of about $1,000 each year, and that is only because of our difference in accounts payable each year and a difference in current installments of long-term debt each year, which are both inherent to their categories. Our investing section stays at zero throughout the duration of the project because we do not plan on purchasing any more bleachers or any other assets of the like. Therefore, that will stay at zero throughout the project. And our financing section stays at a pretty steady $206,000 or $205,000 or $205,000. Our financing section stays at a steady $205,000 about, and the only changes in that section is from the long-term debt, which is a difference between what is left in the loan after the end of each year's payments. So our cash flows increase dramatically each year, beginning in 2017 at $398,372, and in 2018 we have a cash flow of $604,179, and our final cash flow in 2019 is calculated at $809,514.98. Finally, we calculate our net present value for the project to see if it is truly acceptable or not, if it makes enough money over and above the cost of capital. Our cost of capital for this project is 5.76%, which is calculated with the weighted average cost of capital using debt financing only. And we come with a net present value of $1,302,475.21, and that is clearly, as we stated at the beginning of our project, well above zero and means our project should definitely be accepted.
This project will be embraced by all parties as it strives to capture the essence of the high-octane culture that permeates the extreme sports fan base. Fuck me. God.
That's a tough sentence right there.
Yo, tongue twisters in here.
This is because although additional attendance of 5,000 people will increase these sales,
Oh my god.
used through debt from our loan.
I'll do that. I'm gonna do that later. I can't. Jesus Christ.
What the fuck am I saying? Nice.
Make sure you get a good scroll on.
That is huge. All